Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. So, very slight possible change to the schedule. We are definitely doing issue 106 today. We may possibly squeeze 107 in. They look theoretically in short issues, but we'll see how we go. So, as always, here is my wonderful, glamorous, he thinks he doesn't look so good today, so cheer him up. It's Horlicks.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's well. And yes, it seems like ages since I streamed, but of course I don't know what happened last week now.
I think you streamed twice since last week.
Yeah, I had to leave. I couldn't join you last week, and I can't remember why. Or I had to go early.
Yeah, possibly. I can't even remember. I'm going to have to
watch I can't remember what happened yesterday, let alone last week.
I know you are one of the first member of the dream team to stream in 2021, weren't you?
I think so. Yeah. I did my bus.
One. How does it feel to be number one?
Number one, yeah, it's good. No, yeah. I did. I really enjoyed that.
Right. Cold. You know I can't sing. Right, so Mike Tedstone, he says 1928. Hello, am I early for a change? Wasn't that like nearly 100 years ago? 1920. Okay, that didn't work, did it? Mark Smart says hi, Penny and Horlicks and everybody else. On the end, hi all, looking forward to the build tonight. David Bassett, good evening, Penny, Horlicks, Dave Say, Adrian, and to all viewers. Yeah, we kind of keep it a surprise who's coming on the show. Sometimes we have millions of guests and sometimes we don't have anyone at all. Just whims, really. Peter Whitlock says hello and good evening, everybody. So you'll have to excuse me. I've had meatball bolognese on pasta just before we started and there was a lot of garlic in there. So anyway, David Bassett, Mike Tedstone, you are a twirly, just like the OAPs trying to use their bus pass before it's valid. Am I too early to use my pass? LOL. I love that. I do love that expression. I never get bored of that one. So Love Minnie says, hi all. And what do you call a pig that does karate? A pork chop. Joke of Love Minis. It's actually really funny. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they would be bagels. I like that one. P40F20. Hi all! Routemaster goodness coming our way. Yeah, it's really taking shape now, isn't it, with those roof panels. Dave Max says, good evening, Dream Team. Mike Tedstone, Dave Bassett, constantly late or missed totally, so making sure on this one. Dave's Hobby says, hello, friends. Hi, Dave. Thank you. I just had to hit the bottle. What did I have? Gallio or something like that, courtesy of Dave's Hobbies. So I can say I had a whole bottle of alcohol just before the stream. Okay, they were only this big, but... So Andrew Jones says, hi from Andrew Jones and Pascal the Yorkie. And then Mike says, I'm confused. I have a drink, but is that hand in the logo upside down? Isn't it meant to represent the overhead bar and holding on to it? Looks okay standing on my head, but do you mean the one on the left or do you mean the one on the right? I'm confused now. Isn't it right? Is that hand in the logo upside down? Oh, you mean the Penelope pit stop? No, she's doing this. Because the actual logo, I think, is been positioned like that. If you look on my actual big title pagey thing on YouTube, she's got some Routemasters balanced on her arm. So she's like this or something. My new logos, which I absolutely love, was done by a very nice chap who apparently, I think I've got this right, he doesn't actually have a YouTube account, so he can't log in and comment, but he watches the show every week. And he's an absolutely wonderful guy. You know who you are. He's a security guard, and he's done some fantastic work on the logos. But he gave me these intros for the videos, and I said, well, look, the thing is, if I use these logos, you're going to have to make me one every time I make a new type of video. So he's sort of changed them so they're slightly more generic so that I can modify them myself. Anyway, I'm waffling now, aren't I? Yorkshire Crafter, hello everyone. And then the lovely Verwayne. Thank you, Verwayne. You see, Verwayne bought me a present, which is going to come up on one of my streams very soon. So something off my wish list. It's going to help me out so much. It's actually going to help me out more than I thought it would help me out when I put it on my wish list. So it's fantastic. Love Minnie says, at Horlicks, and then says, great guy. And then Horlicks, you had computer problems. No, I'll be honest with you, no technical issues. Hey, the reason we were late, we just weren't ready.
No, that was where I was last week.
Oh, right, okay. I thought
my computer was having a fit, and then I rang you in stress, didn't I? And then I had to reformat the whole computer. Yeah, you had to
reinstall your computer and everything and all sorts, yeah. Right. So Mark Osborne says, good evening from Cumbria. Danielle Boudreau, good evening, everyone. Andrew Jones says, Pascal says, have you a Kit Kat? No, I don't have a Kit Kat, but I have, thank you to Adrian Langley, I was down to my last 2 caramel wafers until today. So now I have a full. The only trouble is now I don't have room to store this. I've got this chocolate bar and I can't eat it because it's so nice. Let me turn the light out so you can see it. This is a present from a really nice person. And on the back it says, so I don't open it because it's just too nice to open.
Can you not carefully take the sleeve off?
I'm not even going to chance it, Horlicks. It's just going to stay like that forever.
Until you get really hungry for chocolate.
I get really hungry for chocolate, yeah. So, Bill with Adrian says, hi all. Mark Osborne, twirly. Am I too early? Twirly, LOL. Mike Tedstone on the screen before you come on live. Oh, do you mean that's yeah, that's just something I found and I was just playing with some effects, but and then Bill Lenz, I think he's talking about the thumbnail. Okay, I'm confusing myself now. Matthew Baum says, I'm going off sweets and chocolates. We all say that by January, no, don't we? We all have so much sweets and chocolates. It's like drinking, isn't it? The next morning you go, oh, I'm never drinking ever again. And then you get to the next Friday and you're like, yeah, I'll have a drink. So, yeah, give it a couple of weeks, Matthew. You'll be back on them. Right, David Bassett says, your stream is sticking / jumping, Penny. I did notice just before the show that there was a bit of a jump, but I don't know. So I'm doing this because I'm actually watching the stream as well. And there's about a 10-second delay, so I've got to do this for about 10 seconds. Hopefully it's going to sort itself out. But other than finish the stream and then reboot the computer and then start another one, I really don't know what to do about it. So, yeah, we'll see. So Mike Tedstone says PM due. Oh, right, yes. I see what you mean now. So my thumbnail. I've got to be honest with you. I didn't make it. I didn't know what was going through. I don't know, but I like it. I suppose we could flip it upside down. I don't know. I'll have a chat with my technical graphic designer, shall I? Or whatever I want to call him. Steve O, an evening to all. Hi, Steve. How's work going? Is it calming down yet? David Bassett says, I have some of those caramel wafers too. And Andrew, sorry, I see the title and you automatically read the title, don't you? And although I know you're not Pam Bailey, I'm like, oh. So Andrew Jones says Pascal likes caramel as well as custard and ice cream. He's a real Saint-Tropez dog. I think that's how you say it, isn't it? Right, so it's 8:15. We are doing issue 106, and we are going to be doing roof panel and side strips.
Right.
Yes, so I'm going to put my keyboard away, and I'm going to ask Horlicks to do some reading. And then hopefully by the time he's finished doing some reading, I will have a bus in front of me, cameras ready, and parts removed from the box.
Okay, so, oh God, what's happened?
Oh, what's happened?
There we go.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm taking part. Oh, that worked. That works okay. Right.
So we're doing the roof panel and side strips. The third roof panel is fitted together with the side strips for a neat finish above the upper deck windows. And we've got 3 parts. So we've got part A, 106A, is the roof panel.
The roof panel. Dun, dun, dun. Right, so let me do a change of camera. Hopefully not. Whoops, you didn't see that, did you? Right, so I think I'm going to lift this up nice and big, actually, because it's going to have to be lifted up higher than the bus is going to be anyway. Right, so let's see. Yeah, right, okie dokie. So, do you want to do a parts check with me?
Yeah, okay, so yeah, 106A roof panel.
Right, so same as the other roof panels, we've got this beautiful aluminium plate. Is it aluminium? It looks like there's a couple of marks on it. Oh, that's right, they're buff out. No, that's actually a scratch on it. No, that'll buff out. It's not, there's no height on it, but yeah, so ignore that. That's just where I've wet my finger. But yeah, so normal as it's been before.
Okay. Yeah. We've got 106B, which is a side strip, and it's marked A189.
Right, that's this one then. So it's A189, and that is pretty much the same material, maybe a little bit thinner than the roof panel. Oh, can I do a Rolf Harris impression with this? Better not, actually. That's not really good taste these days, is it?
And then C is another side strip, and it's marked A189M.
All right, so that's the one marked A189M, and other than that, I can't see any difference between the two strips. Oh, the holes are in a slightly different position. Or maybe not. No, I can't see any difference between the two strips other than the marking on the back. But they have specifically stated those as different pieces. So I'm going to assume they are different.
And then you should have 44 red NM screws.
So NM on the packet, and there is. Does anyone want to count those for me?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 44 there.
Yeah. See, isn't it funny? People used to sort of laugh at my counting method, but they very quickly come around to my way of thinking when they got 44 screws each.
Yeah.
Right. So while you read out the first stage, I'm going to bring my bus through over. If that's okay.
Okay, so step 1 is to position the left side strip, 105B, along the left side of the upper deck, covering the edge of the roof panels, 104C and 105A. Note that one end of the strip is slightly angled at the end. This should be at the front of the model.
Right.
Okay, so that's why they're marked differently. So yes, I remember now. They've got like a slight angle on the ends of them.
See, I didn't notice it. So it is a very slight angle. There's one end, and there's the other. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Not much in it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So it looks like strip B, which is marked without the M, is going on this side. This side. This is the front. So it's going on this side. So I've actually got this bus the wrong way around. So to be consistent with the magazine, let's just turn it around. And it looks like I'm going to be using a different camera. So, sorry guys, this is getting rather large and it's not quite so easy to organise and sit around as it used to.
I have that issue.
Yeah. Right, so let me position the camera before I switch cameras because then we won't get dizzy cam. So let's see how that goes. Tell you what, this boom is an absolute. Is it this one? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? So let's move that back a bit. Oh. Right, how's that look?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that should be okay.
There we go. That looks pretty good, actually, doesn't it? You can see my work in the background. You know, what more could you want? Right. So I think that's going to be a good. So we're after the one without the lettering, aren't we? B, and that's going to go in. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think that's upside down because the holes aren't lining up, but that's even worse. Wow.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, am I looking at the wrong holes? I don't know.
I think, Adrian's just reminded me. I think there was an issue and we had to maybe swap them over.
Right. They are definitely not fitting and you can see it. You can't see it. Oh, hang on. Let me move the camera. I'm actually pointing the wrong gap. Right. That doesn't really help much, does it? So right, so the very end is now lined up with the screw hole. This one is about 2 mil too long. This one's about 4. It just gets more and more the further we go back. And if I turn it around, it's even worse. So yeah, okay, I'll try the other strip then. That's terrible. And that is just as bad. So have I... No, I've got the wrong strips. These aren't the strips from this week. We want the strips from last week that we held back. So I'm actually using the wrong parts. And now this bus is so big, I can't actually reach my drawer of parts.
Oh, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, take the left strip, 105B.
Right, so the question is, I don't suppose you've got 105B handy, have you? Because I don't think these are identical.
1 second.
Would I be... Yeah, that now makes sense about the angles. So that I can see is the wrong strip, because this strip in the corner is slightly angled that way. I'm exaggerating it, but it's that way. Whereas this strip is going that way. So I think, yeah, that's a perfect match. So now, Steve, I need your help here. Did you say to attach these in the middle and work your way out, or does it not matter with these strips, or anyone actually?
What I did was I put them all in loosely, and then with my finger, run my finger along in one direction to get all the lumps out of it, if that makes sense, while tightening them up.
Okay.
But it's however it works for you at the end of the day.
Talking of one direction, did you know I fell down the stairs the other day and I went boom, 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 going down the stairs, and I wrote a new song for One Direction.
Oh.
That was meant to be a joke, but obviously I just dropped an NM screw. Let's hope and pray that some of them are spare, because there's no way I'm getting that one back. And I've just dropped another one. Oh no! So I'm doing the cardinal sin, aren't I? I tell people to tip their screws out into a screw pot, and I'm standing up in the middle of my room, tipping screws into my hand, and they're going everywhere. So I know I've got some spares anyway.
So yeah, 105B is marked A190, and the other one is marked A190M. They have got slants on the ends, and I found that mine was the other way around. So you have to sort of get it lined up, the actual, if you see what I mean, the front strip and that strip.
Right, so I think the way that I'm going to tackle this, I've just put one, you notice I came in at a funny angle, I just wanted to get the screw in. So let me just reposition this light, because it's not really doing anything for me. And it's not doing anything. Oh, sugar. Right. I'm trying to get a camera angle that you guys can see, but just as importantly, so can I see. Right. So I think once I get this second screw in, things. Oh, the light's too high up. So I'm really sorry about this, guys. We've got to turn this around and do the other side, yeah, haven't we?
Yeah, and try it if you can. Can you bring the camera up a little bit, or is that not possible?
Right, let me just get that one in. Right, so that keeps falling, doesn't it? How's that? Oh, that's
that's good.
In fact, I'm gonna have to pull the camera back so I can get the whole strip in. And now that light is not in a good place because. Right, there we go. That's better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how well the parts fit when you've got the correct part? You know what? I'm going to switch the screwdriver out, and I've got just the screwdriver for it. Except I haven't, because it's it's not magnetized. Right, so my cheap old nasty Wilco screwdriver to the rescue. This is a real low strength screwdriver. So in this particular case, I think it's probably the best screwdriver for the job. It's not going to ram them in hard. Yeah, I see what you mean about you've got a little bit of gabbage. Did we invent that word or did I just steal it off somebody?
No, I think you've made that up.
Okay. Yeah, this is actually rather easy once you get the correct parts in. Right,
So
I'm going to knock
is
the
so I'm just double check that the shape is correct at the front of that strip. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so it looks a little bit out there and at the front, but the front screw is actually very far out. It is literally just, it's not just in enough to bite, it's literally hanging on by its front teeth. So that's a lot better, isn't it? So there's a little bit of a gap, just like there was at the front, but I think I'm quite happy with that. But obviously be careful. You notice I'm putting my thumb underneath the screwdriver because the last thing I want is to slip and go through there. I don't know if it would actually go through that window, how much strength you'd need. Yeah, okay. So what you said about pushing it with your thumb, that's actually quite a good idea.
Yeah, that came from Steve-O.
Yeah, I figured it did because Steve has all the best, what I'd call mini tips and tricks. Just small little things, you know, like the putting the nails in to hold the part on. Just small little convenience things, but you've only got to look at his bust to see how well they work, don't you? Sorry, I'm hiding the camera up there, but it's the only way I can get in at these screws. That has gone in really nice. But I've noticed that if you do over tighten the screw, it does pull that strip in. I've got a little tiny bit of a bend there. So, but you definitely don't want power on the screwdriver, do you, for these ones?
No.
You want a good grip screwdriver and just go nice and gentle. Right, I'm happy with that strip. I know you can't really see it because it's red on red. And I might actually have dust on the camera. Okay, that's probably a little bit better. Right, so should we play Krypton Factory and turn this bus around?
Yeah, let's do that, and I'll read you the next step.
Okay, so do you want to control the cameras and everything as well? Because as you can tell, I've got a bit of an armful.
Yeah, so right, yeah. So sorry, step 2 was to fix that with red NM screws. Start from the rear end of the strip and work forwards, but obviously it doesn't matter. Okay, so step 3, in the same way, fit the right side strip 105C to the right hand side of the model over the edge of the roof panels. Fix to the framework 93A using 8 red NM screws in section A.
Oh, so I just knocked the camera. Okay, so how's that look? I think we're going to need some minor adjustments. That's not too bad, is it? So strip's going to run to about there, so which you can't see. Oh, you can see it. Right. Trouble I've got is this little lamp is getting in the way. It's giving off reflection, but the same time, it's helping me see. So, right, is that okay for you guys?
Yeah, that looks good.
So, yeah, so these screws all line up properly. That's such a relief having the holes line up. So yeah, if you put it upside down, yeah, it kind of goes out of sync in a couple of places. But yeah, like
And
I say,
obviously
there is a
you've
little bit of
got a shape. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we, according to the magazine, are we starting from the front or the back?
Okay, so it just says in the same way. So if it's doing the same way, it's saying start from the back.
Right.
However, I don't think it, makes a lot of difference.
I actually like starting from the front because which one of these holes is a start point? Do I start there or do I start there? At least with the front, you know where it starts, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, and I found on the last one the easiest way to start it is just thread the screw through, find the screw hole, and then we can just let go of the panel. As long as we're not putting that in fully, we've still got the freedom to move that.
Mm-hmm.
So while I get the second screw, then obviously I can carefully watch that corner. I can carefully put this second screw in, and that will then obviously straighten this panel up. So this one, it is naturally trying to bend round, but obviously by the time we got 4 screws on, that should pretty much sort itself out. And this is the opposite of the other side, because the other side I got in the way of the camera and the later screws, but this one I'm getting way earlier, so I'm just bringing it back a bit just so I've got a bit more screwdriver space. So I apologize if you look like you're getting, good job we don't have 3D, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool though.
That would, wouldn't it?
Well, so while you're doing that, I'll read out some of the chat. So we've got Stephen Owen saying evening to all. David Bassett says, I have some of those caramel wafers too. I think we've started a trend.
I think we have, yeah. Well, you started off by having them shooting out Terminator's gun, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Obviously, I've got to blame Adrian as well, because he's the one who sent them to us. So it's obviously Adrian's fault. Always blame the person who isn't there to defend themselves. So Adrian's fault. You'll watch him come on the stream in a minute and go, "Oi!"
Sorry. Andrew says Pascal likes caramel as well as custard and ice cream. He's a real St. Tropez dog.
Tropez, I think. Santra, I don't know.
Saint Tropez or St. Tropez dog. Yeah. Love minis. I can't go off chocolate until after this weekend. It's my birthday. Oh, happy birthday for the weekend, Love minis.
I forgot your birthday was in January. Oh, I feel terrible. I feel bad enough about Christmas. Present buying wise, I didn't really do much this Christmas for various reasons that we don't need to go into.
David Bassett says happy birthday for the weekend at Love Minis. Matthew Borum says I've discovered some early 90s rave music and I have 2 packets of Angel Slices. Oh, I like them.
I like Angel Slices. Do you know what talking of Angel Delight, I think that would go down well with your 90s rave music.
I used to like Angel Delight and I used to dip party rings into it. But Angel Delight does not taste anything like it used to because they've taken a load of sugar out and replaced it with sweetener and stuff.
With all sweet things now, I've noticed that with chocolate bars, you can taste a little, and sodas, you can taste a little touch of artificial sweetener in it.
Yeah, I think, well, especially Cadbury, didn't they change and they use Hershey's now or something?
I don't know. But obviously there's this sugar tax thing, isn't there?
Yeah, they've changed, messed around with all the recipes.
Yeah. Right,
Um,
my heat, so I'm going to have to take my hoodie off.
okay, so Stephen Owen says we're still doing a full service, still have the shortage of bus drivers, but like yourselves, it's changing on a daily basis. No schools, a few workers, but at 9:30, bus full on the smaller routes we do.
Yeah. There's rumour with us that we're going down to maximum 10 people on the bus, but it is only a rumour. I don't know how they're going to cope because we go past. You've got one company that do distribution. I think they do distribution for DHL, and then you've also got Sainsbury's distribution centre. So obviously, all the online shopping's going to go up again, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they use an awful lot of agency staff.
Matthew Boreham's got a couple of Bramley apple pies.
Nice. Can't beat a good old-fashioned classic Bramley apple pie.
No. Penny's Pit Stop. Not good to use this week's strip.
No.
Stephen Owen, I'll start on the left-hand side with my finger to move along the strip. You may have to put one screw in at the other end, loose. I had my nails.
Yeah.
And Peter Whitlock, turning your bus around, Penny. Imagine if you had to shunt backwards like the full-size one.
You know, I hate moving buses back. I've only just started reversing buses back at the depot because I figured out, you know, when you have tarmac and patches of tarmac, and then you have that little strip of tar that seals them. I've learned which ones to use as markers, and now I can just go boom, boom, boom straight in. But I'm so scared of reversing buses because we've got a lot of. When I worked at Sheffield, pretty much 70% of the fleet was the exact same make and model. So when you're parking a bus backwards next to an identical bus, it's absolutely easy because you just line the steering wheels up and then you know your level. But we've got such a mix of buses at my current depot. You know, you might have a long wheelbase bus and you don't realise it, but you park an extra short wheelbase bus. So you need to park it sort of 5-10 foot further out than the other bus. Mm-hmm. And it's scary. But I've learned to use the markings on the road and work it out.
Okay, Lucas 1945 says, "Hi everybody, hope things are going well for you. Nice to see the bus developing more."
Yeah.
John's Model Making says, "Evening all." That's we've done.
Yeah,
that one.
I accidentally hit the same comment twice.
So yeah.
Yeah, is that us caught up?
Yeah, that's caught up.
Okay.
So stage 4.
Stage 4.
Position the roof panel 106A on top of the ceiling frame 97A so that it butts up to the roof panel 105A.
Right. So I'm going to try and stick with this camera just to save me doing different camera angles. So, oops, is that too far? Right. Let me see how this goes. So, I noticed last week these edges, they're different on the different sides. So, one is to receive and one is to push in. So, turning it this way, I can see it's wrong because where these edges meet actually meets a similar one. So I'll turn that around and that goes in nicely. So I believe what I did last week was I did the middle screws and then worked outwards. So I'd do like this one, then I do this one and this one and this one and that one and so on and so forth until I get to the end. So you won't see this side, otherwise I've got to turn the bus backwards and forwards 100 times. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't believe it. I just dropped something on my screws. So right, so starting with the middle panel. So the reason I'm starting with the middle is because if this panel isn't perfectly shaped, as we come towards the outside, it will pull that into shape. It actually looks like it's a really nice shaped panel, but it will pull it all in as we go anyway. So there's the middle one in, almost. Right. So 2 behind it. And I am actually screwing these ones all the way in because I've learned from the last 2 weeks where to stop. If you overscrew, you actually strip the paint off the roof panel. Sorry, I learned last week. So you just kind of, you can eyeball it after a while, can't you? Do you want me to lift the camera up? Because you can't really see what I'm doing, can you?
So while you're doing that, step 5 is to fix the roof panel 106A in place to the ceiling frame 97A using a total of 23 red NM screws. The image on the left shows the view from the left side of the bus, and the inset shows the view from the right side of the model. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and use this camera. So I think if we pull that back, oh, now I'm upside down. Hang on, this one I can flip it, can't I? There you go, that's better, isn't it? Right, so it's still not perfect. Actually, that's not too bad, is it? Right. This is the trouble when these models get to a certain height. They're really hard to get, to get the camera in. So I put this middle one in, and as I work back, it becomes 2 screws. So it's kind of like playing Pong, but each time you hit the other side, the ball then splits into 2. And I'm really, do you know what? This screwdriver is a cheap old nasty one, Wilco. But it's really doing the job because it's not really got any power in it. I suppose your wearer would be really good for this because I found my bugbear with it is I really can't get any strength on it. So I suppose that would be absolutely perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, I use it for a lot of stuff now.
So yeah, so now I've got that middle one in on this side and the 2 closest to the middle on this side. It's just literally a case of 2 screws at a time. Then I'll go there, then there, then there, then there, and just keep going backwards and forwards. Sound like someone's having an exciting time on their motorbike near you, Horlicks.
Yeah.
Right, top up my screws. Ooh. Wish my heater was remote controlled because I've got this little electric heater. What we've decided is I've got the landlady's got my halogen heater, and I've got her electric heater because with my room being smaller than the living room, it obviously doesn't take so much to warm up my room. So, but the trouble I've got with it is it pumps out really hot air, and then once it hits the temperature that you set on the thermostat, it stops. But it seems to get really cold before it clicks in again. It's really weird. So I'm just going to put another 2 here because I seem to have gone out of sync with these screws. Right, so when I get to the end screws, I notice that I've got a load of screws along the edge to do. So I think I'll do all one on one side. Then I'll turn the bus over and do the other side. So yeah, as long as you've got a good pointy screwdriver and you don't embed it in too hard, it's actually going all right. You can see a couple of spots from last week. You can't see that one, but you can see a couple of spots from last week where I'd gone in too hard. Soon learned my lesson on that one, didn't I, Horlicks?
Yeah.
Or was it the week? I'm like, oh no, paint stripped off.
Yeah, it happened to me as well.
Yeah. See, I'd be tempted. I noticed you said in one of the group chats that we're in that it's a bit of money, quite a bit of money to get the Tamiya paint. And I was tempted to jump in and say, you get the paint, I'll go halves with you, and when you're finished, you can send it to me. But by the time you paid the postage, I might as well have paid. Might as well have bought my own pot, mind I?
Yeah, I think that's what. Well, I think it was about £5 or £6. I think.
Yeah, but by the time you posted it to me, it's not going to be an awful lot of change from £5, is there?
No.
So I just got to hope that we can get some, because when I got some paint before for my little local shop, that's if they're still open, you know, is in the eyes of Boris Johnson. Well, yeah, it will be actually. Boris Johnson's a bit of a bus builder, isn't he? So I think he'll consider a model shop as essential, won't he? Right, on this bend, be careful, because I know we had this in the previous issue. Although the roof is starting to go down, the screws are still going straight in. So just there, you've got a bend, but the screw is still upright. I nearly fell foul there. I tried to put it in at an angle, but it just kind of pulled itself straight. So just be careful there if you haven't already done it, which you probably have, because this issue came out like 6 months ago. Right, so I think I've got one more. No, I haven't. I've still got the other side. Right, so and I'm running out of screws. So, but didn't it say somewhere that you will be using screws left over from previous weeks?
Yes, I think so.
Because I think I only dropped 2 screws. Oh, that one's not going in. Right, that one on the other side, I'm just going to put these last 2 in enough to bite. Because of the angle that I'm working at, I can't seem to screw them in very easily. So I think I'll be better off screwing them in from that side. Having said that, one of the panels has just clicked into place and it's just suddenly gone in. Shouldn't really be working this side anyway, but right. So what I'm going to do now is, bear with me one sec. I'm going to see if I've got any additional screws. I should have loads. Well, the NMs, aren't they?
NMs, yeah.
Oh, none in there. So if there is enough screws here to do this build, where's the drawer component? Oh, look at this. Massive packet of them, look. And I think there's another packet in there as well. Right, so let me switch cameras to this side one as I'm working on the side. And then what we'll do is we will flip the bus around to do the other side. So that, I'm afraid, is the best I'm going to give you. Lighting's not brilliant, but oh, should we be screwing the sides in?
Yeah, it says yeah.
So how are we going to put the roof, the side strip in then?
You've got
No,
two.
because we have screwed these ones in.
Yeah, that's it. So you've done down to there.
On all of these, but these ones along here I'm going to leave because let me just check the manual.
Yeah, they get left. Yeah, you only go down along the sides.
Right.
Okay. So
I think we are
is to fit the right side strip 106C marked A189M on the back to the right wall frameworks 95A and 93B, covering the edge of the roof panels 106A and 105A.
Right. So is there a difference in these panels?
So it says it wants to use 189M, but you married them up, they were pretty much the same. But I'm guessing
right, this is
right hand side.
This one is M. So let's do a dry fit with what is theoretically the wrong piece. Right, it doesn't match that way. So it looks like it will match. I'm not going to put it in, but it looks like it could match. So, right, so the strip, the number is at the front. So theoretically, if I put this number at the front, it's not matching. Whereas that looks like a perfect match. So I'm going to go with this strip then. So I find that rather interesting. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws we're going to need for this strip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm actually tipping screws out of the bag to put the exact number on the table, ready for use. So same as I did before. Get the screw, and then I can just let that strip hang. We'll just get that all. Be careful, if you over screw it, you're going to try and push it against the rain guard, which we don't want. Right, so second screw can go in. And remember, these are only going in just enough to bite. Oh, that's nice and easy. Take your time, it's nice and easy, isn't it? So, I think for the first time in quite a long time, we've got a nice relaxing issue, haven't we?
Yeah, and I quite enjoyed doing it actually. It was quite
in this. There is quite a lot to do. We've certainly had issues where we've had a lot less to do. But I'm very much what's that advert where I think it's the Honda advert when they do this really complex setup of stuff. And the tagline at the end is, don't you just love it when things just work? That's
Yeah.
pretty much how I am. You know, the strips have gone in fine as long as you put them in the right way round. As long as you haven't overscrewed the screws, they're okay. And yeah, the parts fit, but do a dry fit. I have accidentally taken a bit of paint off that screw, but I really am not concerned about that because I know it's not the first screw that I've took paint off, and I've got to buy some paint, matte color matching paint anyway to do the roof. Did you just pass wind age, Horlicks, or did it just sound like that?
No, it's my chair. It's squeaky.
That's the trouble, isn't it? A really good stream can be ruined by a chair that squeaks in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Here we are doing a nice sensible stream. Ah, right. I've got a bit of a problem now.
Right.
As I got to this last screw, it's kind of bulged out a bit. So I'm going to try and straighten that out a bit by just loosening off these screws. And I'm going to start from this end. That's a bit better. Try and spread that. Oh, it's still pulling out there. Did anyone else have that problem? This one strip has bulged out a little bit.
I think mine did, some of mine.
I mean, what I could do, if I was that way inclined, I could take that strip off. I could re-drill that hole just slightly down about 1 millimeter, and I might need to then chop a little bit off the end there. But is it actually worth doing it? Just for a little tiny bit there?
Yeah, I mean, on mine, I left some of mine, and I think it just gives it a bit of character.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of the woodworking videos I'm seeing, they do say it's not a mistake, it's a feature. Right, okay, so I'm going to have to turn this around to do the other side. Well, I could do it from that side, but it'd be a damn sight easier if I spun it first.
Okay,
Right.
so I do that. So step 7 then is to fix the strip to the right wall framework 95A and 93B with 8 red NM screws. Ensure that the end of the strip butts up neatly with the strip 105C fitted in step 3.
Yeah, and I would like to apologise, Horlicks. Ouch, nearly trapped that on my finger. I seem to be jumping a little bit ahead, don't I?
Yeah, so that was that. So then step 8 is in the same way, fit the left side strip to the left-hand side of the model over the edge of the roof panels. Fix in place to framework 91B using 8 red NM screws in set below.
Easy peasy. Right, so I'm just doing a little measure up, and I think that's on the wrong way round. So it's the number is going upside down. Does that make sense to people?
I think I found the number was towards the front of the bus.
It is. It's to the front, upside down.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter as long as it's a nice fit and the holes line up.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to do this slightly differently. 4, 6. I think I've got too many screws there. So the first screw I did on the other side was. Do you know what I noticed? I haven't put those rain guards in, and that window's not flush. Right, sorry guys, I really am sorry. These rain guards haven't gone in. Now, will that need to go? Yeah, that's going to need to go in before that that strip, isn't it? Because the strip's going to go over the rain guard. Or is it? No, it's not. Hey guys, you're going to have to pretend I've put the rain strips in.
Yeah,
so,
mine don't. It just goes above it.
That's fine. I was just panicking that, you know, sometimes you haven't done one thing, you can't really do the next thing, can you? Right, so number at the front. So, screwdriver, screw in. Oh, sorry, I've got to turn that heating down. It's still pumping out really hot air. I can breathe. Isn't it surprisingly difficult to breathe when it's too hot?
Yeah.
Right, there we go. It's not going to catch anything there then. I was a tad worried that I was going to bend the strip on the rain guard. Why does that now not fit? Because I've just put it in the wrong hole. Look. Got to laugh, haven't you? So I have evidence today that model making is very good for de-stressing, because I am feeling so chilled right now. About 10% as stressed as I was pre-stream. Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We'll get away with not doing the rain guards just yet.
So, Geordie's Dave says, evening, everyone.
Evening, Geordie Dave. How are you? How are those lovely people that you look after? Right. Yeah, it's definitely the front bit that's bowing, but I think a way round it is to not actually fully tighten that front screw. That's what's causing it's that front screw. When you back it off, it straightens that piece up there. If you screw it fully home, then it starts to bend outwards. So I'm going to leave that in more than just enough to bite, but not fully home. It's certainly not going to fall out. There we go. Very, very happy with that. Now, from a distance, this is one of those pieces where it doesn't visibly add an awful lot, but if you don't put it in, that bit will probably stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. But it doesn't, on camera, it doesn't look a lot different from before, other than this panel being in on the roof. But what a difference it makes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that.
And
So
that is the finished fuse.
lovely. And that is what my bus looks like, believe it or not.
Brilliant. There you go.
So there's the new panel in, full of fingerprints and all sorts. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Oh God, you can see I've just had my dinner, can't you? A very nice dinner it was too. Right, so here's the dilemma we're in, Horlicks. We said if we got this finished before 9, we'd do another issue, but it's 9:10. What do you want to do? Do you want to leave it and do the next one next week, and we'll have a sit and a chat and relax?
I'm up to you. I'm up to you. It's up to you. Your building. Do you want to do another one? I'm happy to do another one if you want to.
Why wouldn't you leave it all down to me?
It's your bus, your builds.
I'm happy way because originally I said I want to do 2 issues a week to get this done by March. I think we've got a lot longer to get it done by March. Plus, it looks like I'm going to be staying here forever and a day or until I get bored and move. That being said, issue 107, let me just have a very quick flick.
Actually, it doesn't look like there's that much to do, so let's just go for it.
It's all on the front, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if I turn my right, so if you want to do the reading, and then I'll just quickly turn the bus around so the front is showing, and then that is pretty much. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I really hate, I hate post-production, but shall we skip step 3, which is a side strip, jump on to stage 4? No, we'll do it. We'll do it all. Yeah, we'll do it all. That's what I was thinking of something, but it didn't make sense. Right. So do you want to bring up the front bit and then do the description, read the descriptions, and then while you do that, I'll move the bus around.
Yeah. Okay, so 107. So front window trim and finishing strips. A trim is added around the upper deck front windows together with the strips that finish off the joints. Okay. And then there's a little bubble that says, identify the strips by checking their markings before starting assembly. Each strip is very slightly different.
Right. Okay. So let's see if I can move this light. So I'm just trying to get good positions and good lighting. Right. I want to just see what that looks like. Oh yeah, I'm using a different camera, aren't I? I changed all the angles. I didn't change the camera. Right, that's the wrong. Is that right? Where am I? Yeah, is that one right? So how's that for you guys? I think that's all right. Yeah, okay. Right, unfortunately, I've got a massively bright light flashing in my eyes, but I think I can cope. So you're going to have to keep an eye on the monitor for me, if you wouldn't mind. So, parts check.
Okay, so.
Hang on, sorry. I jumped into that one a little bit too quick. I said, let's do a parts check, and I've not even cut the bag open. So, this is exciting then, isn't it? Doing 2 issues. For the first time, I've actually promised what I'll actually do, or do what I've actually promised. Right, so I think I'm going to get, these are in a really nice little packaging. So I think what I'm going to do is, as I pull the bits out and show you, I think what I'm going to do is I'll put them back in exactly the same place, get my Sharpie, and then label the parts as close as I can. Right, okay, so I'm ready whenever you are.
Right then, so 107A is a front window trim.
Okay, now that's the window trim, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I don't know why. I wasn't expecting that to be metal, but I don't know what I was expecting it to be. So that's really nice. So
let me. What am I trying to say? When you got some NM screws in an earlier issue, did you get some that were really long?
Not to my knowledge.
Unless they're in this week's issue. We'll get there. Okay, so part B...
should all be the same, shouldn't they?
They should be, but I got supplied a bag, if you remember, that were NM screws, but the threads were longer.
Right.
And I can't recall what issue I got them in, but they were, even though they were incorrect, they were actually a godsend for this bit.
Okay.
But each model's different, so you may not have any problems at all. But we'll come to that. So part B is a strip marked A199.
A199? Right, so that is this one. This is marked A1. So I'm struggling to see the monitor because there we go, my light strip's in the way, but that's all it is. Just a little strip with 4 holes, and I noticed does that look like an angle on that side?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so let me label that. These are actually quite difficult to get out of the packet. B, right, okay, so that's that one labelled.
Okay, part C is a strip marked A164B, and that should have 3 holes in it.
Okay, and there's the back of the strip. Are we going to get a focus? There we go, it's come in. So 3 holes, and there's the front.
Okay.
So we can go in labels. I'm actually putting these back in the packet upside down so that the number is facing upwards. Probably doesn't make any difference really, but right. Okay, so who's next?
D, strip marked A199M. So it's the other one with 4 holes.
Okay. That doesn't seem to want to focus. That has got one at the end, and that is same color, 4 holes, and it looks identical to A199. However, I would suggest it's slightly different because otherwise they would label it part C, would they? Right.
Okay, and then we've got part E, which is a strip marked A193, and that's the long one.
Okay, and that's this long one. There's only one this long, really, and that's A193. There we go. You can see that, and that's that one. So, and then that should leave some NM screws, shouldn't it?
Yeah, NM screws, 17 red.
So I will. In fact, let's do a little comparison, shall we? These look exactly the same as the previous ones.
Okay.
For me, anyway.
Yeah,
So,
no, there's quite a noticeable difference in the ones I received. I know a couple of others in the group had that as well.
So do you think that's a packing error that just happened to be a good packing error?
I think so. I ended up with a lot of longer NM screws. And the only reason I said it was a godsend for me is when I was putting that front bit, the large, the window trim on, some of the short NM screws didn't want to reach to where they had to grip on.
Right.
I was like, oh no. So then I ended up using the slightly longer ones and it worked the dream.
Okay. But it wouldn't be the first time they've had a problem with the screws, would it?
Yeah. So we'll see how we get on. And then also a couple of my front trim screws just decided not to tighten and they were just spinning in the hole.
Okay. We'll see how we
so
get
that's
on.
something else to look out for. But okay, so step 1 then is fit the front window trim 107A around the lower side edges of the front windows of the upper deck. Hold it in place. Yeah, this is where you need 4 hands.
Right.
It says you've got to hold it in place and then position the strip 107C marked A164B down the center of the trim 107A. Fix both pieces in place to the front of the frame 86F using 3 red NM screws.
Brilliant. Right. So I can immediately see where my third and fourth hand is coming from in the form of masking tape. So it wants to go in this way up like a W, and that's going to go there, and that is yeah, that's a good fit. Oh, it's a little bit dodgy on the edges. Oh, no, it's overlapping, that's why. So right, that's actually holding in quite nicely, fairly nicely.
Cool.
So, but I am still going to mask that. So if I place a piece of masking tape there and a piece of masking tape there, that should hold that in for me, shouldn't it? So let me just move the camera up because it seems to have...
It seems to be dropping on its own.
It's because it's actually got the wire wrapped around the back. Right, so I put a bit of masking tape in there and there. That's going to hold that in place. I would normally like to put a bit of masking tape down the middle, but for obvious reasons, that's not really a good idea, is it? So I want piece C. Now, is there an up and a down on this?
I don't think there is, but just double check. Just offer it up and see.
Right, that seems to be a good fit. That seems to be a good fit, but right, that is exactly level with the top of this piece. So let's turn it around, and that's a little bit lower. So there's a little gap there now. I know you can't see it. The gap is about 1 millimeter. So hold the center of the trim, fix both pieces. Right, so, right, okay, so if it's a little bit lower at the top, I'm guessing it's going to be lower at the bottom. So I'm going to do my usual trick, which is I'm going to just hold, I'm going to have a little look ahead. Could you bring up stage 4 for me, please?
Go.
So it looks like for stage 4, piece E that we place across is going to be button up against this piece that we're about to put on.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that piece and I'm going to get 2 NM screws. Does this make sense, and does this come across as sensible?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to place not this screw, but these 2 screws in. Oh, that's a wraparound one, isn't it? Right, so I've got those in just enough to bite. I'm going to be honest with you. Now I've put them in, I can't see the point in taking them out for the later stage. But now I'm going to do a dry fit with this one. Right, that fits perfectly. So we'll turn it around. Yeah, that, oh, yes. No, right, it still fits. No, it's trying. Right, I know you can't see this. I'll tell you what, I really want you to see this. I know most of you have probably figured this one out. So I am going to get this in as close as I can. Hopefully not too close. Right, and I can't see because of that blooming lamp. Right, let me move that lamp out of the way. I'm sorry, guys, I can't. The light, the way I've got this, it's actually shining directly in my eyes. It gives me a lot of light. Right, so we've got this strip going across. Now, if we hold this in this position, if I butt the bottom up against the strip that's going across, I don't know if you can see, but the hole is about 1/4 hidden up. You really can't see it, can you? And it lines up at the top there. But if you turn it around, that hole is now perfectly exposed, and that camera's just sunk, hasn't it?
Oh.
Don't know what's going on with this camera today. Right. So that hole is perfectly exposed and it's level with the top. Now, had I not thought of putting this across bit in, I probably would have put it in that way because that makes sense to be level with it. But that's a trick that I often use. If you don't know which way to do a piece, have a little look ahead, and that will quite often give you the answer. I've got a Ghostbusters video coming out, and Mark will know exactly what I'm talking about here. You have 2 long supports and 2 short supports to do, so that the whole thing sits at an angle. And I couldn't figure out which way round the supports went. So I looked a little bit ahead on instructions, about 4 or 5 stages, and then I could figure it out from there. And it's just have a little look ahead. If you're one of these really lucky people who don't do the issue on the week that they get it, sometimes you can look a few issues ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, use whatever methods you can to cheat. It's not cheating, is it? It's getting it done. If you're on a Facebook group and someone's posted their pictures of their build, use those as reference. Anyway, I've waffled so much that's got in place, and I'm rather happy with that. So I'm not going to take this out, because what's the point in taking the screws out and putting them back in again? Unless it interferes with stage 2 and 3. Which I don't think it will. So I can take this masking tape off now, can't I? Oh, now that corner has jumped. That's not fitting quite as well as it did when I did the dry fit. And I don't think this one is as well. But when you fasten the middle, it kind of pushes the outside bits out anyway, doesn't it? Right.
Oh, just a quick one. It's the LED on the front panel on there, yeah. Is that in?
Well, yes, it is. It is, but when I did a test, you can actually see the bulb through there.
Right.
But this is actually quite a poor light. It's not enough to light up the blinds. However, I consider that realistic.
Yeah.
Because the lighting wasn't, it's like the interior lights, so there was really dull, warm white light on them. Not really sufficient. But that's, I think people like me and Dave would call that nostalgia. That's the way it was.
Yeah.
Not these super LED lights you get now.
Okay, so step 2 then is to at the front of the right hand side of the upper deck, position strip 107D marked A199M over the edge of the trim. So
sorry, I had them bounced on the bus and the magazine just fell off.
over the edge of the trim 107A so that the screw holes are aligned. Fix in place with 4 red NM screws, which go through into screw holes in the right wall framework 93A. So we're going to have to put it on it, work on its side of the bus.
Yeah, which is why I've just moved my bus. Right. Ooh. Now that little tiny slanty bit at the top now makes perfect sense. So just there's a slight slant on it. It's very hard to see. It's not an awful lot. And then this one slants. So what you're actually doing is you've got the ends are parallel to each other, but you actually want them parallel with the ground. So to do that, you've got to just tilt it back, and you can see this front isn't straight up. It's actually angled slightly. So just to prove that theory, let's put it on deliberately upside down, and it still fits. So that's blown my theory out the water, isn't it? But the lines are still parallel with the ground. So now you can see why this is on this side, because if you now put this on the other side, you're going to get, it doesn't fit there. There's a little gap there and it's overlapping there. There's a little gap there and it's overlapping there. So it kind of makes all sense. And I've got my number up. So let's put the top screw in first. And I'm starting to notice that the holes on these strips are actually slightly bigger than the screws, which is why it's probably a good idea to only put them in enough to bite, because then you can just wiggle that. Not a lot of wiggle room, but just a tiny bit, and it could just be enough. So that's pulling in part of this front panel. Obviously, this side at the front is still sticking out, but I know that'll get taken care of at a later stage. So I'm just looking for loose NM screws. Where we've been putting so many NM screws in and we've had spares, I'm just looking for little bags with just 1 or 2 screws in rather than opening another bag. Right, so this can go fully home now. So that's 4, 3, 2, sorry, my hand's in the way, and screw number 1. And that I'm rather happy with. Are you?
Yeah, that looks good.
Do you know what? If I had a Routemaster bus company, I would think I'd paint those strips silver or purple or blue. You get a bit of a line. Blake's buses, red with purple trim. I think that'd look quite tasteful. Okay, so if you're happy with that, I'm ready to move on to stage 3. And while you that out, I'm going to flip my bus around.
Okay, so yeah, on the front of the left-hand side of the upper deck, position strip 107B marked A199 over the edge of the front trim 107A. Fix in place with 4 red NM screws, which go into screw holes in the left wall framework 91A.
Oh, I tell you what, the gyms might be shut, but if you are a gym lover, do the Routemaster. I know I keep saying, don't I? But you do get a good workout. So I've not got round to doing the camera yet. Just really pushing my luck. Oh, there's another NM screw, 1 in the bag. Trouble is, I now know there's 2 on the floor, but I'm going to have to give them up as lost. Because I've got what's it called? Melamine floor, is it?
Yeah. I was going to say, actually, I didn't ask Mark. Obviously, you've got Mark's side's LED panel, haven't you?
No, he hasn't sent it to me yet.
Oh, okay.
Because someone else mentioned that the other day. They said, "Are you fixing his panel?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll be fixing his panel as soon as he sends it to me."
That's right. Yeah, I wondered if there was an update on it and how you got on, but
well, since I get it, I've looked at my panel, and I'm pretty confident that I can have that done in 10 minutes. It'll probably take me longer to heat up the solder iron than it would to do it. Right, so there's the strip, and I believe I did the last one number up, so I'm going to do this one number up. So I can see that the angle is on this side. It's going that way rather than that way, because this wouldn't, oh God, no. Yeah. So yeah, that'll go on there. So, right. I've only got 2 screws before I have to open a new bag. So what I'll do is I'll pop 2 screws on, then there'll be a pause. That's just me opening a new bag of screws. And I think that'll give me about 20 spare NM screws. Which, is that a worry?
no, I had loads. I've still got loads.
Oh,
I've probably got about 50 in my pot at the moment.
That's okay then. I know I've been losing the odd screw. This is exactly why I've been keeping almost, but I think I've got no red NMs in the pots, so I'm using purely out of the bag. I've been really disorganized, guys. Right, so, but I've just realized we've got the front panel to do anyway, so that'll use up some of these screws. I'm just seeing Mark's comment. I forgot to send it in your Christmas card. You know how you glance at comments while you're building, and just by glancing quickly, I'd read that as I forgot to send you a Christmas card, and I was about to say, no, I'm pretty sure you sent me a card. There we go. Right, that panel's in. I'm really liking that one. So who's been moaning about unsightly screws? Because I think that actually adds something to it. I know screws like that aren't really realistic, but I think it looks quite nice. And you could always fill those screws as well, couldn't you?
Yeah.
If that bothers you. I might have a chat with my my technical consultant, Dave Say, on that. Dave,
Well, I think Dave removed them, didn't he, and glued them on?
I don't know, but Dave, would you? I know it's going to be very time consuming, but could you just pop a little bit of filler in there, perhaps a bit of 3000 grit sandpaper to smooth it off, and then touch of red paint? Would they look like rivets? Perhaps. I don't know. That's something to think about, isn't it? At least they wouldn't look like screws. If it bothers you, it doesn't really bother me. I'm still thinking I'm happy to do an out of the magazine build.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm just looking at my bus, and from here, they don't even look like screws anyway from a distance.
No. Yeah, it's the what I call tabletop rule. Looking at it from 2 foot away, you're not looking at the screws. You've got things like the blinds and the seats and the engine. That's all leaping out at you. And I love the imperfections. One thing I'm looking at is, you see on my bonnet, my little inspection cover's not closing properly. But I believe that is 100% realistic, because they did warp, I'm told. So the fact that mine doesn't close properly adds a little bit of charm and realism to it. So anyway, that's digressing, isn't it?
Okay, so
Happy, do you want to have a little read of stage 4?
Yep, so stage 4 is position the trim 107E marked A193 across the lower edge of the front trim 107A so that the screw holes are aligned. Fix in place with 3 NM screws in the center 3 holes only. The screws go through part 107A and into the front frame 86F. And then there's a little balloon that says the ends of the strip 107E stick out beyond the sides of the bus at this stage. Take care not to damage the ends. They will be fitted and fixed in place at a later time.
Oh, God. So our bus comes with wings now, does it?
Yes.
So if I put a bit of Red Bull in the fuel tank, will it fly?
Might do.
Right, so as you can see, obviously I've already put the panel in because of stage 1. And like I say, I'm not taking I can't see the point in putting screws in and then taking them out. So I'll just finish screwing this. So yeah, it seems a little bit odd that we've not actually been attaching panels until the bit underneath has been complete. And now we're putting a side strip in. Oh, bit of a bulge. Right, so same as before, if you don't fully tighten that screw, that bit doesn't bulge out so much. And also, I think if I can pull on this strip, that's helping. Right, so I'm going to loosen that first screw, and then I'm going to push that along a bit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that seems to have done it. Yeah, that's
Mark
pushed.
Mod says he recommends not doing it due to your room renovations. You don't want to knock it.
It's okay, actually, because I did look at that. These bits don't actually stick out as far as the base. And I am being triply careful on this bus. Right. Okay. I'm not liking this. It's like dust under the rug. If you get a bulge, you just kind of spread it, and all you're doing is creating a bulge somewhere else. Yeah, see, it's rather a large bulge there now. I'd rather have 5 small bulges than 1 big one. Having
Penny, are you there? We may have just lost Penny for a minute. Yeah. Penny's left me in charge of the stream again. It's not the first time she's left the stream and left me to it. I'm sure she'll be back in a minute. She must have some technical problems. So Dave says he didn't remove my screws. I just touched up the heads with paint. You could feel them. It's up to you. Not sure it'd make much difference. Yeah, I think I agree with that. From a distance, you can't tell they're screws at all. But for some reason, I thought you removed some screws and glued something on for your advertisement boards, but I must be thinking of something else. So yeah, do the schedule while we wait for Penny. So that's a good idea. Very well, good idea. So I need to get it up. So yes, while we wait for Penny, so today's the 6th. Tomorrow is myself, and I shall be doing Routemaster issues 120 and 121. So that will, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've just had a message as well. Then we've got me again on Friday, and I'm going to be doing the Spitfire issues 5 and 6, and I can carry on with the Spitfire now because I received a replacement issue 2. As you may be aware, I built this motor housing and the gearbox, and it all went together okay, but there wasn't enough oomph in the motor. Although saying that, I think I might have had I think it was a bit of both, but this fits a lot better. It's a lot looser, so there's not much strain on the motor. So this now works, so I can move on with my build. So that's all good. So yeah, Spitfire issues 5 and 6. Saturday, I was going to do a stream, but I'm not sure. So it says to be confirmed. That will still have to be confirmed. So at the moment, nothing on Saturday. Sunday, we've got Mark's Mods, and he's doing Spitfire 41 and 42. So we're going to have a couple of Spitfire streams, which is nice. I enjoy watching the later issues as well because I get to see what I've got coming up. Sorry, excuse me. Monday, we've got Chris Camplin, and he's doing Terminator issues 91 and 92 on Chris Camplin's channel. And then we've got Tuesday, we've got Build with Adrian. He's doing Terminator issues 93 and 94. So yeah, look forward to that. And actually, I received another Terminator package myself the other day. I think I got it on Monday. Yeah, Monday, the day I went back to work, the 4th. I received it then. So we've got some more of that to do. And then that takes us back to Wednesday, which is a Yorkshire Crafter and Penny's Diamond Show. That's at 2 o'clock on Yorkshire Crafters channel and Penny's Pit Stop channel, both of them. And I actually caught some of that today. So yeah, it's good fun. I enjoyed watching that. I didn't watch all of it. I think I caught the last half hour or so, but well worth heading over and checking them out. Then in the evening, we've got this show. It says Partwork show Routemaster to be confirmed. So I'm not quite sure if there's something happening or Penny's unavailable or I don't know. It says to be confirmed, unless it was based on the issues we did tonight. Because obviously we've done 106 and 107 this evening. So maybe the to be confirmed is what issue. So if that's the case, we'll be doing 108 and perhaps 109. And that is the schedule for the week. Penny has just messaged me. She's having technical problems. She's been disconnected from the internet. She's trying to get it back as we speak, and she's going to reboot as well. So hopefully that's good. Love Minis. Are you getting plenty of work during COVID? Yeah, bit of a funny situation actually from today. We are very busy because we're still doing online orders, and there is so much to do, and we've also got stock take to do. But there's only like 3 or 4 of us left to do it. So And then I actually got sent home today for a COVID test. So I feel okay. I'm just feeling a bit under the weather, and the new strain that's out. Obviously, I live with a nurse, and there's the new strain. Can be slightly different symptoms, and 3 of them I seem to have. So just to be on the safe side, I have had a test today. So I'm now off work until I receive the results, which should be Friday. So yeah, cross fingers, all will be good. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, work is very busy, and they can't really afford to lose me, but they either lose me or lose everyone, you know. So and it looks like we may have Penny back. So hello.
I'm so sorry about that. It was really weird. It was my computer disconnect. Checked everything else in the house. It's still connected, and it just wasn't reconnecting. And then it said you got to enter the password because some details have changed. And I thought, oh, I've had this before. So what I did was I switched the Wi-Fi off and then back on again, and then that didn't work. So in the end, I just done a computer reboot. So maybe the computer doesn't like being on for too long.
Actually, no, it's funny. I've had that before, and sometimes it does that because the router itself sometimes does an update on its own. Yeah. So maybe it was that the router probably decided to do a little update, and because obviously your computer's already connected to it, and it's thinking, "What are you?"
So yeah, quick reboot. It's a shame that I'd love to do one stream one day with anybody with no technical difficulties.
It wouldn't be a show without a technical problem.
Well, it wouldn't, but I was one screw away from finishing the build for this week.
Yeah. So, it was funny though, because I said, Penny's left me again. It's not the first time.
He was for the whole stream last week, so that's even Stevens, isn't it?
Yeah, no. I was thinking of the time when you disconnected and none of us could end the stream.
Oh, I'll never live that down ever.
No, you won't. That was classic. That was
perfect.
So in your absence, yeah, as Mark said, he helped me out. I've done the schedule. So that's all done. But I did want to question, because it says Wednesday Routemaster to be confirmed. I wasn't sure if that was to be confirmed because potentially you couldn't do a stream, or to be confirmed because we didn't know how many issues we were going to get tonight.
When I I can't find the document. There we go. Right. When I do TBC, it means the issue.
Okay.
If I can't do the show, then I won't put it in at all, or I'll put show to be confirmed.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, doing there'll be 108 next week.
Right. Mark is saying, Penny, you only put 3 screws in. I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws in. If that's what you mean. So the only screws I haven't put in is this one on the end there, and one on the corresponding side. So as you see, it's got little fake, let's call them fake indicators, shall we?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done 2 issues in less than 2 hours.
Oh, hang on. No, yeah, I see what you're saying now. Might be my fault. Hang on. Let me just get these instructions back up.
Yeah, I think I know what Mark means.
Yeah, put in place with 3 NM screws in the center holes only.
Oh, I've gone a bit gung-ho, have I?
You've gone a bit further, yeah. Because that's right, because you need to put the 2 panels either side of the blinds before.
Okay, no problems. I will. So maybe that would explain why these strips are too long then, because when you put this panel in, it'll bring them out a little bit.
But then, to be fair, Penny, for storage purposes, it's probably no harm leaving them in to give it extra security.
Yeah, but I'll take them out. And I'll go, what on earth is going on? I'm really confused. And then I'll get stressed, and then I'll throw donuts around the table, and I'll cry, and then I'll end the stream and leave you on your own. So I will remove them. So I apologize, guys. This is what happens when you don't read the instructions.
Well, no, I think we did, but obviously with the technical problem and everything went a bit funny, you just lose track of it, didn't we? So,
but I am going to mask and tape those down. Right, I've actually done a little bit of damage to it. Nothing major. Where I've screwed that screw in, it has bent that little strip a little tiny bit. So that I think is straight now. So a couple of bits of masking tape. If I do a full-on catch it on the edge, it's not going to protect it. It's still going to rip that off, but it'll do just a little bit to protect it. Yeah, same with this one. Where I've just screwed it in a bit too much. It won't be the first time I've gone too far and did some slight damage. So, right. So a bit of tape there as well. Maybe I should do diamond painting all the time. It's so much easier, isn't it? Right. Okay, so build complete.
okay, so that is the finished view.
Fantastic. Yeah, really happy. Really happy. And that extra panel gone in, I did say this last week. When you've got two of the roof panels in, it looks okay. You can see it starting to build. Once you get that third panel in, you've still got the back of the buses bare, but it makes such a difference.
Yeah.
And now I'm just looking forward to that last panel on the roof. I mean, it's still a long way to go. That's the wrong camera. This one I want. So, yeah, there is still a long way to go, but progress is being made.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think the last panel was good fun.
But yeah, look, now we've only added this much, which is less than half of what we've already done. Well, it's about just over half, about 2/3. But it's made such a difference.
Yeah.
If I talk to you like this, it looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, there is a lot to go, but I was still thinking back to the old days when we had for ages we had the chassis with just the engine, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's like it just wasn't growing at all for weeks and weeks.
It's like mine. I mean, I keep forgetting I've done nearly almost one side of it, and I keep looking up thinking, oh, it's done. But after next week, I think I'll be doing the last panel on that side.
Yeah.
On the near side. And that'll be that side done, and then it's working on the frame on the other side. So all the time it's displayed now, it'll look finished.
I must admit, they call me a Sado geek. This morning I woke up and the first thing I saw was the bus, and I'm like, ooh. So even though I've seen this every day for the last 3 years, it's still quite exciting to wake up to this morning.
Yeah.
More than usual for some reason. I don't know why. So, right, I'm just having a bit of a clearing some spaces so I can get the bus back. See, another reason why I'm okay with this panel being on, I put this on this side of the bus table, but the front is always pointing towards the middle of the table. More coincidence than anything else, but that's just the way I have the bus. So please forgive me while I do a bit of housekeeping. At the moment, this is working really well, keeping this bus on this table. Right, this is where I crush my fingers, isn't it? Oh, I've gone too far. Oh, I actually went over the edge of the desk. So it's got coming now. Yeah, right, okay, that's good. So that's in its safe place now. Right, so. Oh.
Yeah, it looks really good there.
Yeah, this is where it's been living for the last, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If I do have to keep an eye on the wires sticking out the back, because I do catch them sometimes when I walk past it. But it's a nice, safe place for it. And if you're careful, you can use it as a shelf.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good shelf. I wouldn't recommend, say, my cup of coffee. That's probably pushing it a bit too far. Yeah, it's. I can now recover my Flying Scotsman. My Flying Scotsman knocked over while I was building the bus, and I just looked, with the bus being up this high, I just looked at it and just went, yeah, you're going to have to stay there till the end of the build. So, yeah, right, yeah, really, I think I've really got that. I mean, I've had it back for a couple of weeks now, but the excitement of building it, can't wait till next Wednesday. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Really enjoying this again. So enjoyed everyone's company, enjoying getting on. I didn't feel that was so stressful this week. There's been a couple of issues where it's been like you're really having to work hard, either think hard or physically work hard. But
well, especially with that wiring and stuff, you know, it was.
God. Yeah, how stressed out was I? Literally a couple of minutes before the stream, I'm like, that's it, cancel the stream, I can't do this. And then in the end, we just decided, you know, sorry guys, I said I'd have the wires sorted out before we start, but I haven't had a chance to do it. But literally 2 minutes before the stream started, there was literally one wire I tidied, and suddenly it just went, oh, that looks lovely now.
Yeah.
So, an awful lot of patience required at times on this bus. For a first part work, probably not the best one to start with. But this was my first part work build. I could think of others that would make a more suitable first build. But at the time with Hachette builds, you've got to take the part work when it comes, don't you?
Yeah.
You can think like model space, fine, you can pick up really old part works.
I mean, I could say that about the DeLorean. That was my first build.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really hard, and that tries your patience as well. But I think, yeah, doing that and the bus and that, the bus seems easy, a lot easier than the DeLorean for me.
I think we've had it too easy for too long, and then suddenly we get some really challenging issues. If you look back at the early stages, this is easy, that's easy, that's easy, that's a bit challenging, that's easy, that's easy, that's easy, that's simple enough, a little bit challenging, and then all of a sudden it's gone, that's fairly easy, oh my god, this bit's a nightmare. So it's just gone, and now we're back to I'm not going to use the word easy, I'm going to use the words less challenging. I think that would be a more appropriate word.
Less challenging.
But let's not forget that what's challenging for you isn't so challenging for someone else. We get this all the time, don't we? Oh, I had real trouble with issue 104. And really? I found that really easy. The issue I had trouble with was 73. Wow, really? So, yeah. But some of the issues we had, I mean, where I was really confused was the issues coming up to about 100. I was getting really stressed out, and people were going, yeah, don't do this, don't leave that one, leave that. And we ended up doing like 7 issues in one go, didn't we?
Yeah. That
really took it out on me, because I'm like, no, this can't be happening like this. So, yeah, but no, I'm loving it. I really am loving it. So do you want me to do catch up on chat?
Yeah, can do. Dave Mack.
I think we are.
Dave Mack.
Dave Mack. So good night, guys. Another great stream and build. See you in the next one. You certainly will. P40F20, nice work, Penny. Thank you very much. You know that means a lot to me. Mark's Marge, your Flying Scotsman went flying. It certainly did. Peter Whitlock, thumbs up, thumbs up. I've only got 2 to match it. I haven't got, yeah, there you go. If Horlicks does 1, that's 3 between us.
4.
And then Yorkshire Craft, a great show tonight. Yeah, apart from the little technical difficulty, which is all fun anyway, isn't it?
It's actually done quite good if you've reset the internet, because you're not so laggy now. You're not laggy at all.
I haven't reset the internet. I've actually reset the computer. Right. So maybe it was. I think actually I might have just. I don't think I've switched the computer off for a few days.
Right.
Because I've been uploading absolutely. I'm changing the way that I'm uploading my videos to YouTube. What I normally do is upload all of my videos for the whole week on a Sunday, and it takes like 4 or 5 hours. What I've now actually done is, instead of uploading the whole week, I've uploaded like 4 Terminators and then 4 Ectos and 2 Flying Scotsmen, 5 Fiats, 4 Spitfires. So I've got little bits of each week, and I've just found it easier just to don't worry about Terminators, just do Fiats, and it's the same description for each one with keywords, and it's just the titles are different, and you can kind of get yourself into conveyor belt mode. But my internet speed's been quite low, and it's been taking me like 3 hours to upload 4 videos. Mm-hmm. I know I do. See, the thing is, I had really good quality internet at the last place. This is supposed to be good quality, but that enabled me to put a little. I've tried to improve the quality of the actual images. I've produced the video on a higher quality because I think it makes it more watchable. It does create a larger file, but that means it takes a lot. But if you've got faster internet, you can upload a larger file.
You've got yours is new internet, isn't it? They do say it takes a couple of weeks to settle when it's new. Apparently.
Well, I'm going to do a broadband test. When I installed it, or when I first had it, it was running at about 52 megabits per second.
Yeah, they say that they adjust it based on how the line can cope with it. But if you're finding it's gone really down and it's lower than they reckon you could get, it's worth a phone call, because they can turn it up. Well, unbelievably. Yeah, they can tweak it.
I'm up again. I'm up. See, I did a speed check the other day, and it was coming out about 25, 28, which is obviously low. But I've just now done a speed check, and it's 41.53, which is slow. But landlady's at home. She's watching television. We've got 2 phones connected. And obviously we're streaming. So I think 41 is not an unreasonable result.
No.
So maybe it was just going through a settling period then. But it's been 3 weeks. I forget when it was installed. I've not even had a bill yet.
It's better than ours. I mean, we're running at about 20 to 24, and right now I'm getting 24.
Yeah. Well, I've just done another speed check. That's coming out 42.41. So but I think that's within there's 3 levels. It's a little bit confusing. You've got 3 levels, and you get a minimum and a maximum, and then it says like a minimum speed guarantee. And if I'd have paid like an extra £5 a month, I would have got a much higher maximum, but the minimum speed guarantee was only about another 5 to 10 megabits per second.
Right.
And obviously, if they said to me, you can get up to 100 megabits per second, but we guarantee you 50, and my internet runs at 51, they're going to say, well, that's all right, it's within the minimum. So if I then pay an extra £10 a month to get up to 150, with a minimum guaranteed of 55 and I'm running at 57, then, you know, the maximum on the lower package is actually higher than the minimum on the next package up. So I could theoretically be running faster than somebody else who's paying more money than me. So I didn't think it was worth paying the extra money for a little tiny bit extra speed. So, but 40 plus I'm happy with. So maybe I just needed a reboot. So lesson, but I always see, this is again, you've spoiled me, Horlicks, by getting me this computer. When I had the laptop, I always had to do a reboot about half an hour before the stream started. I had to get that computer as fresh as I could. Now I've got a computer that runs really quickly. It's got loads of hard drive storage. I know where I'm storing my files. I'm deleting the old files quickly, you know, as early as I can to get the extra space. And I've just got used to a fast computer now. It's like the good old days when you used to have a fresh computer. So you've spoiled me, Horlicks.
I mean, mine goes off every day. I mean, mine's probably only on for about 3-4 hours a day, and then. Well,
I normally do switch mine off at the end of the night, but if sometimes it might be like 2 hours before work, I'll upload a video. If it's not uploaded by the time I've got to leave for work, I'll leave the computer on, and then quite often when I come home from work, I'm not thinking about anything other than my bed. I'll switch the monitors off when I leave the computer unattended. So, of course, I walk in, there's no screens on, and I'm straight into bed asleep. And then, of course, then the computer's on in the morning. So I switch the monitors off and off I go. When I had the laptop, I was so scared of switching it off. I didn't used to switch it off. But this one, I've got no problems. I mean, it's not quite as quick on the startup as it was when you first showed me, but it's probably about 50% slower, which is still pretty good, isn't it? So, right, Mark's Mods is saying, I've lost my cursor. That's not what he's saying. So he's saying your microphone is much better now. So again, it might just be the computer was getting a bit tired. P40F20, you need to make up a placard that says, please stand by for obligatory technical issue. Yeah, if we knew when it was coming, we could, yeah, we'll have to play a game, spot the technical issue.
We'll have to make a little, like a video clip. So whenever we have a technical issue.
What I thought was amusing was, I'm going to show you this because, I know most of you has probably seen it, but so someone who watches this show has made me a wonderful little channel trailer, which I'm going to show. And what made me laugh was the technical difficulties bit. It just made me laugh when it came up. I'm like, you got this spot on.
I'm the bus driver. This is a bus driver Partwork. What could possibly go wrong?
I just thought that's got it down to a T, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. But I like what I like most about it actually is the fact that that was made by, I'm not going to say his name, I can't remember if I'm allowed to. I think he'd rather be honest, but we have, well, he's told me that he doesn't actually, he lurks more than anything, but I don't think he actually has a YouTube account. I think he just opens it up and watches it. What I hope my channel is about is that we get on and we do the builds, but having fun doing it is far more important than doing a build. Yeah. Obviously, we want to do a good quality build, but that is actually the second priority. And we try and have a bit of a laugh while we do it. And I think that channel intro captures it absolutely perfectly. Even the clip with all of us doing the chit chat, he's captured a clip where we're laughing at the time. So, you know, all jolly and fun and not larking about, but, you know, having a good time. And that's what my channel, you come here to try and enjoy yourself. I appreciate that most of you are going out to work, especially this year. It's all quite stressful. The last thing you want is to come and watch a YouTube channel that's going to stress you out even more. So, but yeah, so we have a laugh about the technical difficulties because you got a choice here, haven't you? You can laugh about it or you can get upset and wound up about it. We choose to laugh. So there is another comment, but I can't find it. My cursor just seems to have a mind of its own lately. So love minis, we have tons of schools and out of work or sick people on the lines. Yeah. So do you think, no, I'm not going to get political. But yeah, I don't know. It's all got very confusing now, this current era, isn't it? So apparently this new strain of COVID can now affect people under the age of 11. So they now have to wear face masks. People still aren't. Or they're not wearing face masks properly. So Mark's Mod says, Horlicks, yours should be the caramel wafers incident. So yeah, I got a feeling that caramel wafers is going to feature more prominently on our channel. No, I said channels. I'm not talking about just me and Horlicks. So is there anything else? You've done the YouTube schedule, haven't you?
Yeah, I did that.
So I think it's goodbye time. We almost had a stream of less than 2 hours, didn't we?
Yeah.
Almost. That will be my last ever word on my last ever video on my YouTube channel, I think. Almost. So I will probably finish my channel. I'll end up finishing it on 999 subs. I just really like to get to 1,000 subs, and probably something will happen. I'll get to 999 subs, and then I can't continue the channel anymore. That's going to be the story of my life, isn't it? So if there is nothing else to add, then I'm going to say goodbye. And would you like to close the show, Horlicks?
I don't mind, yeah. So,
See,
yeah.
You, Horlicks, you just go, I don't mind.
I don't mind.
Whatever you want. Right, okay, my hands are on the head. You are finishing the show.
Thank you very much for watching. And, yeah, really good build tonight. That bus is looking amazing now. And, yeah, look forward to more next week. And, yeah, again, thank you all for watching and being here. And we will see you on the next stream. Bye-bye.